YouTube, come back at y'all with another video. You dig what I'm saying? Just finished a workout over at the track right now. You feel me? Getting some sunlight. But I want to talk about a very, very important thing that occurred in my life about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, at the end of 2020. So give or take about 2 years. And kind of just some insight on how I even came into this whole enlightenment and spiritual awakening and spiritual journey whole thing, because it caught me off guard. And I'm sure, like, a lot of stuff I talk about now, people probably be a little confused, just because, like, I was always intelligent, but I wasn't talking about things like enlightenment and opening your third eye and spirituality and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that just came about within me, bro. And like Dick Gregory said, he'd say, once you put them glasses on, you can't take them off. You feel me? Once the universe appointed you to a certain mission, to a certain level of thinking, you can't go backwards, even if you want to. Like, I be wanting to be blind and ignorant to a lot of shit that I see, but because I understand what's happening, I can't, even if I want to. And they say ignorance is bliss. It's bliss to a certain extent until, stuff start going left. Then ignorance ain't bliss no more. But ignorance is only bliss when the illusion keeps going the way it's going. But I'm gonna get into the whole how I started my spiritual journey, how I started my awakening phase. So it was the end of 2020. Like, I'm not sure if I spoke on this yet, but even if I did, I don't think I went into depth. But like I was saying, at the end of 2020, I had just finished making some hoodies. I was about to graduate. That's number one. I was about to graduate. It's my last semester at Newberry College. I think I had just finished making some hoodies. I was doing something. I didn't have no work to do. I was just in my room, and I was like, I'm gonna just take a walk. I was like, I'm gonna take a walk. Then, so I headed out the room. And mind you, my whole couple years on Newberry College, I never took walks around the campus. Just to walk around campus by myself. This is my first time doing it in my last semester. I think a couple days or maybe a week before graduation. So I started taking that walk, you feel me, just walking around campus. Then it's a graveyard right next to our school. So I came up on the corner of where the Walker Hall and the graveyard meet. I was like, I'm gonna walk to the graveyard because they got little walkways to the graveyard. So I was like, I'm gonna walk to the graveyard. Never did this before. And mind you, this is like 9 o'clock and 9 p.m. 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. one of them. So, I walked through the graveyard, just chilling, and I sat down in front of a random tombstone. Don't know whose it was. I didn't specifically sit right there. I was just like, I'm just gonna post it right here and just sit, and just observe. And I was just looking at the sky, and I remember the sky being purple that night. It was like purplish, bluish type of sky. And out of nowhere, I just started getting these thoughts. It's just like, what's more to this existence? Like, what's more to life? I just started having these questions. And I always had these questions as a little kid, but I was always suppressed them because people always say, they'll say you're thinking too much, or they'll just shoot the questions down or shoot the ideology of thinking past what we know down. It's just like, so I would always suppress these questions, but I just actually sat down and took that time to reflect and take in things. And mind you, this was a time where I was, in college selling hoodies. So at that time, I was doing pretty well financially for being a college student. You dig what I'm saying? But I still felt a level of emptiness. Like, I didn't feel like I knew who I was completely. I knew I had greatness within me, but I didn't truly know how to tap into that greatness within me. I'm not talking about on the outer existence or how I look or how my body looks. I'm talking about bringing out that greatness within me and letting it protrude outwards. You dig what I'm saying? So that was really kind of the start of it all, man. Just like sitting in the graveyard and just observing the sky. And I remember the song I was listening to was this song by NLE Chopper called Bryson. And my closest homeboys, his name is Bryson. So it was just the synchronicity. On that day, just certain things just started making me think different and think outside the box of that was given for me to think in. You feel me? That's what we do most of the time. We just think inside the box. That's been given for us to think in. And that day I decided to, mind you, like I said, I was always intelligent, but just in this certain realm of thinking past just this existence and past just of what we know, that was kind of my breakthrough day. And ever since then, bro, just everything I think of just is just different. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the same. I don't move the same. I don't react the same. I don't listen to the same things. I don't watch the same things. You feel me? So, like I've said in previous videos, a lot of people who knew me in 2019, it's just like I'm not necessarily that same person. I wouldn't even say I changed. I just grew into a higher version of myself. You feel me? So, which is why I never really bashed my old self, because in a way, my old self helped me to get to this higher self of me. You feel me? Because that old version of me was a building block, and this current version of me will be a building block for the future me. You dig what I'm saying? So, I understand, growing from your old self, but that's just a side tangent. Don't demonize or bash your old self, because your old version was just a building block for you to grow into the person that you are now. But yeah, man, I just started watching different videos. Once I became awakened, I just started watching different videos. One of the first people I started watching was Kalab Amura. And I just was able to just start opening up different perspectives and paradigms in my head outside of what I've always been told my whole life of what is true and what's not true. Who's to say these certain things that we've been told is true is truth? You feel me? We've been boxed in by doctrines to pick from certain things and say, you either believe this, or this. If you don't believe none of these, you're wrong. But it goes back to who do we allow to make these rules? Who do we allow to make these stipulations of around what we can believe and what we have to believe and what we don't have to believe? You know what I'm saying? What we can give our energy to and what we can't give our energy to. You feel me? That's the exact opposite of free will. You dig? So, man, it just... And I know a lot of things I probably talk about now, it may throw people off, just like because it's, it's out of the norm or some of the things I talk about now, but like it's just hard to go back to your old ways of thinking once you crack this code of being able to break into different paradigms whenever you want. So when somebody comes to me expecting a definitive answer, majority of the times I'm the type of person that can see it in both ways. Now unless if it's just something that's completely off the rails, like, you know what I'm saying. But I'm the type of person that can see things both ways, because there's no really such thing as good and bad or good and evil. You feel me? Because nature doesn't operate in good and evil. You dig? So that's just kind of an insight on my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening. And I kind of tell you some things that'll happen when you start this journey. If you're kind of close to it, and you'll know when you're close to it. It's not something you can force upon yourself either. Like I told you, it kind of caught me off guard in the sense, like I was feeling different like weeks or days leading into it, but for the most part, it still caught me off guard. And yeah, bro, it does some things to you mentally and spiritually. That initial phase of when you come into the awakening phase, it's like a blissful moment type shit, because just like it feel like you done cracked something, like you done figured it out. But little do you know, like that's just the beginning of it all, really. So that beginning phase, enjoy it. I say enjoy it, but you know what I'm saying. That's literally just the beginning of everything. You feel me? So it's an interesting journey, and like I've only been in it for 2 years, but it's an interesting journey. I'll say that for the most part. You'll just start seeing things differently. Like when you got them glasses on of being able to see through the veil, you see things differently. Everything ain't as surface level as you used to think it was. Everything ain't as 3D as you thought it was. You feel me? It be layers to a lot of things, and until you can tap into different paradigms and be able to use those paradigms to deepen your thinking and to peel back these layers, you feel me? You'll constantly be looped into these and to get caught up in the surface of things that's much deeper than what's really shown. But YouTube helped me a lot in my early phases, bro, because I didn't know who to talk to. Like around me, it wasn't really nobody I could talk to, and even still, I really don't talk about it publicly. Like I just kind of keep it to myself, because one, I'm not trying to force my journey on anybody else. I'm just sharing my experiences and whatnot. But yeah, like it was a lonely journey. It's still a lonely journey in a sense. That's why I watch YouTube a lot. You feel me? I can relate to a lot of people who speak about these occurrences on YouTube and the things that they go through and certain knowledge that they've become accustomed to and now understand while being on this journey. You feel me? Because like I said, most people around you, they don't really go through it at the same time that you go through, and that's okay. And like, I'm not saying that to bash anybody that I hang around. All I'm saying is people come into these phases on different terms, you know what I'm saying, different time phases for particular reasons. The universe has it set up that way. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to be brought into this certain phase when the universe deems you fit to be into that realm of thinking. You feel me? Because it's a lot of goddamn. It's a tall task to carry around that task. It's a tall task. You feel me? Because it's certain thoughts that if you're not careful, it really can lead you into the deep end, bro. For real. I think I talked about this on a previous video, but it's certain thoughts and certain information that you come in contact with that can really lead you into the deep end, for real. So if you ain't careful, if you ain't really monitor yourself, if you ain't really taking care of yourself, if you're not really being able to balance the spiritual and the physical, you can get lost in that spiritual sauce. You dig what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of information, especially in the age of information. There's a lot of information get lost in, and you kind of get thrown off the rails and thrown into the deep end. You feel me? So it's a dangerous game, but it's a beautiful game at the same time. And like I always say, anything that's beautiful can be dangerous with too much indulgence of it. You feel me? So being on this spiritual journey, it's changed my life in so many ways. But if I would have ever let it to overindulge me, I wouldn't be using the benefits of it properly. You feel me? Being on this spiritual journey, being spiritually enlightened, and continuously being spiritually enlightened is for you to use these access codes to navigate through this physical realm. It's not for you to completely disregard and completely what's the word I'm looking for? It'll just go with disregard, to completely disregard the physical realm and try to always live in the spiritual realm, because it's like you're in a physical vessel trying to 24/7 constantly living in the spiritual realm. That doesn't work like that. You feel me? You're in the physical realm for a reason. Use these spiritual access codes to maneuver and to manipulate your physical reality in the ways you want it to. You feel me? But yeah, bro, it's a lonely journey. It's a lonely journey. But when I say lonely, it's not like I'd be sad or depressed. You feel me? Some days I'd be down, but I've kind of accepted the fact of it being a lonely journey. You feel me? And it's just the point back to most people don't really understand what you're going through. You feel me? That's just what it is. You got to be strong enough within yourself to understand that, and eventually people get your understanding, understand what you know what I'm saying, understand what you was going through. But most of the time, that don't come to years later to when, you know, to after you've accomplished things or whatnot. That's when people really start to understand certain things. But during the time period, people just think you I guess being standoffish or being weird or acting funny in the time being. But as time developed and people start to hear your story more, they start to understand, like, oh, this person was going through something past my understanding. You feel me? And that be the case most of the times. You feel me? People be out here going through spiritual changes, and other people always existing in this physical realm and not really understanding, like, okay, this person is going through a spiritual evolution. Let me respect that. Let me not have any feelings towards that. It's just something that is. You feel me? It ain't nothing that somebody moving weird or nothing like that. That's just what the source called that person to be on that type of time at that certain moment. So just because you ain't on that certain time, that certain moment, that don't mean, you know what I'm saying, somebody moving weird. It just, y'all on two different timetables. You feel me? Y'all on two different timelines. So just because y'all timeline ain't aligning, you feel me, that don't mean you can't still rock with that person. You dig what I'm saying? And if a person doesn't respect your timeline or what the universe is calling for you at that time period, then more times than not, it's about time for you to, you know, kind of cut ties away from that person, because they should, if they really rock with you, they should respect whatever you're going through at that time, even if they don't go through it. I mean, even if they don't understand it, or if they're not going through it, they should be able to respect it. Because if you're saying it's for the better you, then anything that's better than you should respect you, even if it means taking a break from everybody. Everybody you rock with should respect that because it's better than you, regardless if it takes away the time that person gets with you. They should be able to respect that if they want to see you at your highest self, at your greatest self. You feel me? But what I've realized about a lot of people, their intentions are very selfish. Um, their interest in you is more for their gain than your own gain. Like they like having you around more than they like to see you grow or become a better person. You feel me? Because a lot of people be scared you might outgrow them, so they want to constantly keep you around, looping in the same things because that person is comfortable in doing those things, but you may not be comfortable doing those things. But because that person doesn't want to see you not being around them no more, they constantly want to keep you involved in these looping activities that keep you in that same mindset because that person wants to stay in that mindset. Which is why I talked in previous videos. You gotta be scared to step away. You gotta be scared to let go. You gotta you gotta be not scared to step away. You gotta be not scared to detach and move away from people because it can lead you, like I've said this before as well. All my videos tie together. It can lead you down a loophole that you wasn't even planning on going on, but because you don't have that power to say no. You don't have that power to step away from certain things or just remove yourself from environments or people. You get looped into these things that you had no business being looped into. So that's pretty much how my spiritual journey went. Caught me off guard. Uh, you know, I'm able to see things. And I'm going to say this. The reason why it's so difficult dealing with this spiritual gift of being able to say things before it happened, to be able to use discernment, is like because you try to tell people certain things and they're not trying to hear you, but it's just what I've understood, I understood this early on my journey, is that I don't force this knowledge on anybody. But when you put this knowledge out and people don't really like take heed to it, it's just like, you know, of course it's a realm of free will, but at the same time you be wanting people to really understand these things because like I've said before, we in very important times, bro. So, you know, dismissing the information that you should be absorbing could be very harmful for you right now and your family. You did. So that's why I really be wanting people to see this shit that's going down. You did. Because, I mean, I'll be honest, it's no laughing matter. It's really not. It's no laughing matter right now. But that'd be the hardest thing of dealing with spiritual gifts and spiritual enlightenment, that you're able to see things and everybody else paying attention to other things that don't really matter right now, and be like, damn, people not seeing this shit. Then they'll have you started thinking you tripping. Then you come back to your senses like, nah, I know what I seen. And that's the thing about having them glasses on. You can't, once them glasses on, once that third eye is open, you can't unsee shit. You can't go back to seeing things the way you used to see. Trust me, it's been time where I was like, damn, well, I just wish I just been, like, people who ignorant to stuff be looking so happy, bro. Like, they be looking, and that's why I understand when people say ignorance is bliss. But again, I say, ignorance is bliss only until the illusions that's been going on stop going on. You feel me? Once these illusions stop existing, ignorance is no longer bliss. You feel me? So that's all I got for y'all today, man. You know, if you feel like you're entering your spiritual awakening phase, or you've already started going on that path, you know, hit me up if you got any questions or any videos that could be building blocks to your next level or whatnot. You feel me? Because that's the thing about spiritual information. You kind of want to take your information in building block stages. You don't want to jump straight into deep occult knowledge, because that's how people get sent down the rabbit hole. Now, granted, I kind of did that, but even then, I still started off with base information. You feel me? And I was just being able to absorb it at such a high pace, which is why I got to occult knowledge and deeper knowledge so fast. But yeah, bro. Spirituality is not demonic, bro. It's literally nature, bro. It's just it's it's doctrines have deemed things that's spirituality and stuff like that as demonic, but it's not, bro. Y'all know me. I don't indulge in anything that's unrighteous. You feel me? Y'all know my spirit. Y'all know my soul. You feel me? And this is not me trying to get anybody to change their ideologies. You feel me? I'm just trying to get you to understand, like, y'all know me and my character. You feel me? So, that's all I got for today, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.